Good morning, dear ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining our webinar today. My name is Olga and I represent the UK Department for International Trade based in Kazakhstan. When you were registering for this specific webinar, I'm sure you've noticed that we are arranging a series of various webinars for mining companies dedicated to various subjects. And this specific webinar is dedicated to cutting edge technologies and innovative solutions, in particular using virtual reality in mining industry and in your mining operations. And today we have a company, Reality Check, and John Van Egan, the founder of Reality Check, who will demonstrate his company's capabilities to you. The company developed a platform that helped bring in stakeholders from every corner of the world to your corner of the world. And the main purpose of this platform is virtually demonstrate your capabilities and operations to potential investors, to various authorities, your potential partners, and other stakeholders. It is obviously very handy, given that all mining operations, most of them, are normally located elsewhere in the world in very remote areas. So such a platform would really help you a lot to save time and resources to have remote visits. John has an extensive experience in mining industry. He used to be an investment banker in one of the major investment banks of Canada. He also has experience of working for media and technology companies. And then he decided to establish his own business, which is quite successful. Now over to you, John. Thank you.
Olga, thank you very much for that kind introduction and for organizing today's event. And a big thank you to everybody that has taken the time out of their day to join us. So what I propose to do today is I will launch straight into a demonstration of our platform that can be accessed through a desktop computer, Windows 10 computer. So no specialist hardware is required. And after the Q&A session, which we will have at the end of the demonstration, I believe there'll be a short video run showing some of the virtual reality aspects of our platform as well. So what you will see is a demonstration on the screens, but absolutely, should you so choose, you can put a headset on and enjoy visiting your mine sites or other industrial sites all around the world in a fully immersive format, which is quite impressive. So I will start off by just pulling up the Reality Check app on my desktop here, and I will start the screen share with you. So all of the various site tours that we have are held in the cloud and can be streamed to your audience wherever they are in the world. Today, I'm going to take you on a tour of one of Barrick's mines, Pueblo Viejo, which is the second largest gold mine in the world, located in the Dominican Republic. Obviously, this is an awful lot easier than getting the required visas, inoculations, flights, etc. to get to the Dominican Republic. Now, you can hear the sounds of the site as well as seeing it. I'm just going to mute the background sounds because it's easier for me to talk to you as I run you through the tour. And as I rotate my camera, you can see we're stood at the main gates to the site. As you can see, you get a very authentic feel for the site and what is really happening there. There is no hiding things behind the camera because it's a 360-degree view that you're given. And you can augment the tours with various data. So here I can click on an information hotspot and it will bring up a list of data that Barrick wanted its audience to understand about the site. And some of this you can click through to. So infographics, static and live data, and other information supporting the story that you want to tell. When Barrick had this particular site done for them, their main purpose was for engagement with stakeholders about their ESG initiatives. So they wanted to show that they were good corporate citizens running a clean, successful and profitable operation in the Dominican Republic. And that's why they've put data in here about how much GDP is created by their operation, how much foreign exchange is created, how many direct and indirect jobs it creates, and other interesting data to support that story. You can also include conventional videos. So this is a time-lapse video of staff arriving at this mine site first thing in the morning for the day shift. And it gives you an idea, again, of how many people this operation employs. This is good for everybody who has a stake in the company to be able to see. It is good for investors, of course, because they want to see that the company is doing a good job at site. It's important for governments who want to see that the big corporations that are operating in their countries are good corporate citizens and are stewarding the natural resources of the country in a sensible, safe, and sustainable manner. And of course, it's good for people that work at the company as well. Although the platform was originally designed for the solicitation of investment capital, Barrick and our other clients have found it equally useful for internal purposes. So board briefings, staff orientation, and general engagement with people that work for the company. As an example, when we showed this at a sustainability day that Barrick was running at their head office in Toronto, it turned out that many of their head office workers had never been to a mine site, and their normal course of work would never take them to a mine site. However, they work for a mining company, and it was extremely powerful for them to see that at the operating sites, the company was so conscientious. It helped them to feel good about working for a company in an industry that is so often sort of tarred with the brush of being damaging to the environment. So to be able to see how much money and effort their company was putting into being responsible citizens was incredibly powerful and motivating for those people as well. So hopefully you can see the application goes beyond just soliciting additional investment capital for your mining operations. Navigating the site, you can use these hotspots. Clicking on that has taken me to an aerial photograph. This is taken from a drone hovering over the main gate to help give your audience a good impression of what it's actually like at site from a very unique vantage point. If I look down there, you can see the main gate down below us. When I was at this site, you can see that the topography is very varied with lots of vegetation, which means driving around it, it's very difficult to orientate yourself. Using this platform for that orientation purposes allows you to understand the layout of the site very, very quickly. And I'll show you how. If I go over to our toolbar here in the top left corner and click on the navigation button, I have a clickable process flow sheet, which I can interact with to take me to the different areas of the mine. Or I can switch over to a map view, which has satellite images, photogrammetry from drones, and other 3D models. So CAD models, models from mine management software, geological models, really any 3D models that you would want to incorporate into your tour, our platform can cope with. So you can see I can fly all around the site and very quickly understand the layout and what's going on. So if I start all the way back here, you can see there's the tailings facility. If I want to visit that, I just click on the tile there, which is labeled as tailings, and I can fly all over the site to visit the different areas, and I can toggle off different on and off different areas of the site. So if I toggle off the mine site, you'll see it switches to just the satellite tile view. This model that sits on top of it is photogrammetry taken with drones. Usually mining companies would just be surveying their pits and their stockpiles and their tailings, but for a bit of added interest, I suppose, Barrick wanted their buildings included in the photogrammetry. So we've included all that for them in their tour. You obviously don't have to include drone data, but the facility is there to do it if you want to. You can also drop below the surface of the mine to see things like ore body models. So if I turn off the satellite tile, I can drop right below and rotate. So you can actually see what's going on below the surface. In this case, Barrick haven't given us their ore body model, but you could quite happily sit that below the pits so you can see what is going on at the various points in the life cycle of the pits that you're exploiting. So just to give you a bit more of a walk around of this site to show off some more of the features of the platform, I'm going to go into this area of the site, which is the effluent treatment plant. When Barrick bought Placer, this effluent was being dumped directly into the Margarita River, and part of the deal with the Dominican government was they had to clear it up if they were going to be allowed to operate the mine. That is what the river used to look like under the stewardship of the previous company. And when Barrick took over and spent tens of millions of dollars building this piece of civil engineering that we're stood on top of, this is the result. The river's obviously nice and clean now. And, you know, you can bring your audience to stand on the engineering, fly over it, fly over the CAD models of it, or photogrammetry models of it, and actually stand on it to see the scale of effort and engineering and money that's been spent to make sure that this site's being run properly. And I can also very quickly, if I go back to the path view, take us over to the discharge point where we can see the water being discharged into the river. Barrick have also included static data illustrating how they've cleaned up the river. So you can see pollution levels having fallen dramatically after the implementation of their effluent treatment plant. You can, in fact, feed live data into this platform should you choose. And you can integrate dashboards and things like that if that is of value to you. You can obviously visit all around the site without any prior need of understanding of the site layout, using these interactive process flow sheets. So I can take you right from the pits where this excavator is loading haul trucks. Again, you could have live data feeds relevant to each area of the tour, giving you up-to-date information. The information I'm showing you today is static, just because that is how Barrick wanted to use the tour. But nonetheless, they've integrated informative technical slides on the various areas of the pit that they wanted to show off. Audio guides as well. So if I click on that, it starts telling you, a pre-recorded voice starts telling you about the area of the mine that you're standing in. Other interesting areas of this particular tour, the mills. So obviously investors like to see that it's a clean, well-run site. People are wearing the right protective equipment. The floor is relatively clear of trip hazards, all of that kind of thing. And again, for the less initiated that you're showing the project to, you can augment additional information into your tours. I think with that, perhaps I will just talk about how the various data is collected. So as a in terms of these interactive maps, Reality Check can actually source these satellite tiles for you and make them interactive, so you can visit the different areas of your site. In terms of the 3D models, most mining companies will already be producing these at site. So as I previously mentioned, pit surveys, LiDAR data, perhaps other maps from products like Esri, ArcGIS can be integrated here. Vulcan, Deswick for subsurface infrastructure can all be integrated. So it's no additional work for the companies that are getting these tours set up. It is simply a case of getting more value from the work that is already being done by your staff at site. In terms of these clickable process flow sheets, essentially we can take your PDFs of your technical drawings and convert them and make them interactive. So hopefully that is diagrams that you've already got. If you don't, we can help you generate them, so that's not a problem. So really the only additional content that needs to be created are these 360-degree videos and photos that we use. And these can be created with a 360-degree video camera and a tripod of the likes manufactured by GoPro for a small investment of as little as less than $500 US. So there's really no need for Reality Check to send anybody to your mine sites in order to produce content like this. You should be able to ship a GoPro and a tripod to your site, and hopefully there is somebody at site who is familiar enough with the site and is able to hit record on a GoPro camera to capture this kind of material for you, which you would then upload into the Reality Check cloud, and we'd create or complete the tour build for you. So very easy, no requirement for people to come to site that don't need to be at your site, no requirement for visas or hosting people from overseas, and no great technical hurdle in order to produce the content. So with that all said, I think that is probably a sufficient showcasing of the Reality Check platform. So I'm going to end the product demonstration there and hand back over to Olga to take us into the next phase of this event. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John. It is very impressive indeed, and I'm sure our participants enjoyed the virtual tour a lot. Dear ladies and gentlemen, now it's the good time for your questions. Please feel free to ask your questions. As it was mentioned in the beginning of the session, type them in the comments bar under the main screen, and we will ask these questions to John.
So I can see the first question coming in there, Olga. Does the platform offer an opportunity of seeing what happens live at the remote site? That's a great question. So what you saw in the demonstration today was a pre-recorded. So all of those video and photo spheres were captured and stored. However, it is possible to live feed in. You can live stream 360-degree videos. It would require some permanent camera installations, obviously, which changes the proposition. It can be delivered, and we have the technical ability to do that. But to date, the easier a way to deliver a product and more cost-effective way to deliver a product for our clients is to feed a live streaming webcams that are already installed at site into video panels within the 360-degree environment. So why would you do that? Perhaps the 360-degree element of the tour is useful for the reasons that we've already mentioned, but there are specific areas of the site which you want to be able to see live. That might be the front gate, or it might be perhaps the pits, because you want people to dial in whenever they want to see the trucks rolling around the pits to make sure that there's not excessive queuing going on and things like that. In which case, often our clients already have, or certainly have, the capacity to install conventional webcam that can then just be hooked into our platform for a live feed. The other thing that is live is data. So as anyone in the mining industry knows, the mining industry is very good at this Internet of Things revolution, where we've fitted sensors to all of our equipment that feed back in to a control room. Well, it would be perfectly straightforward to live feed from any of those sensors already installed that data into a dashboard on the Reality Check platform. So absolutely, you can live feed data and information into the platform and 360-degree video if you so wish. So I've got another question here. It says, what is the main advantage of using your system against similar existing? Well, to be quite frank, we're certainly not aware of any competing system that does everything that our platform does. There are certainly 360-degree photography galleries for alternate purposes, like selling real estate, high-end luxury flats and things like that. But what those products don't allow you to do is all the extra things that our industry needs. So that is things like hosting complex 3D models from mining, planning and management software, or ore body models, the ability to live feed data, etc. So absolutely, you can actually take a 360-degree video of your of an area of your mine and put it on YouTube and play it there. The question then becomes, do you need to augment it with data? Do you need 3D models and all the other things that our platform does? If you don't, great, put it on YouTube. If you want a more formal, curated setting that leverages all the work that you're already doing at site, that your board would be interested in seeing and other investors and stakeholders would be interested in seeing, then I'd suggest that our solution is more valuable and well worth the investment. So we've got another question here.
Yes, thank you, John. Yeah, there is another question from Bigza Dusimbekov. He asks, at remote sites, there is no communication infrastructure. What is the solution, please?
Well, that's a great question. We obviously host and distribute your virtual tours for you if that's what you want us to do. So there's no requirement for the remote site to be constantly linked to our platform. Obviously, if it is, then that opens up the door to live streaming. But if it's not, that's no problem. The images can still be captured with a GoPro by someone at site. It doesn't have to be a GoPro, I should say. There are other providers. And your models, your 360-degree videos and photos just needs to be shared with us. Well, if you can't get online to do that from site, you can put it on a flash drive or external hard drive and send it to somewhere that does have internet connection, so you can make that transfer to us. So it's subject to use case, but I would suggest if the remote sites are so remote that they don't have internet connectivity, there are probably other things that they would be struggling with before they'd come to do something like this. So it was certainly, it's not going to be suitable for everybody, but there is a workaround should such a remote site want to use our services. I should also say that when you want to show your virtual tours in a location where there is no internet connection, we can provide a standalone tour build download that you can just host on your laptop and either show it through on a projector connected to your laptop, or plug in a VR headset to your laptop and show it that way as well. So when you're showing off a tour at a conference, for example, where often Wi-Fi connectivity is notoriously bad, it's no problem. You can just run it from your local machine.
Thank you, John. One more question is about any additional appliances which are required to use the solution. Does it require virtual reality helmet or glasses, please?
Thanks for the question. So no, it doesn't require any specialist equipment. All you need is a computer running Windows 10. And if you have that, you can download our software and you can run it from that PC. Of course, if you want the fully immersive experience, then you can buy something like an Oculus Rift or an Oculus Quest, and they're sort of £300 or £400 these days, or similar in dollars, and you can provide your audience with that experience. In terms of if you want to show off your mine sites to a large audience, obviously using third-party screen sharing applications such as this, or things like Microsoft Teams or Zoom or any of the other screen sharing apps, allows you to get hundreds of participants on your Mind Tour at a time. And it allows you to give them a live walkthrough as well, with people who know what it is that's being shown, talking about the different areas of the site. So great for all kinds of stakeholder briefings, leveraging standard video conferencing software.
Thank you, John. And one more question, please. How long does it take to prepare a demonstration like that? And what types of video sources you require for production?
So in terms of collecting the videos and photos, it depends on how big the mine site is and what the client use case is. But really, it takes as long as it takes for somebody to walk around a mine site and take multiple 5-minute videos with a 360-degree portable video camera, and then share those files with us. Once we have the videos and photos from the client, we can turn around a tour build in 2 to 4 weeks as an initial build. And then once that initial build is done, any adjustments can be managed within 24 hours. So if you want to change the technical data that's in there, if you want to change one video sphere for another, or add additional video and photo spheres, then that can be done very, very quickly. And in terms of the formats that we accept, it's standard formats that your camera will produce directly for you. So it's things like MP4 for video, MP3 for sound, PDF documents, JPEGs, all the standard file formats that we're all used to and that the hardware will produce for you automatically.
Thank you, John. I don't see more questions at the moment. Yes, thank you, dear participants, for your questions. I guess now it's the time for another video, and after which you will have a networking opportunity.
Thank you so much, Olga.
Thank you.
It was confusing me because I couldn't believe how well it was working.
Inter experience is quite phenomenal. I mean, I was blown away. The submersive nature of it is, I mean, it's the first time I've ever done virtual reality, so that was amazing. And the fact that you're in the site is something unbelievable.
quite revolutionary in terms of enhancing the experience of looking at assets from a new perspective.
And the fact that you're in the site is something unbelievable. You know, you own your own experience.
It gave me a sense of control over the environment that I didn't want to let go.
It increases your bandwidth. You get to see a lot more at the same time than you otherwise would.
It can be very helpful for selling assets. I believe that in terms of spreading the audience, it may encourage people to take a closer look, to travel to sites at a later date if they've seen the reality check footage.
You make the due diligence process to get into a point where you want to table a transaction or discuss something like that smoother, more time efficient.
If you can bring all the different members of your due diligence and management teams to bear, which you can do so when you're sitting in your own headquarters, then you can provide more value, I believe.
The investment committee be unparalleled. I mean, to show these people what you're talking about, an image is better than 1,000 words. I can write memos, an arm thick. I think this will be very powerful. And sharing it with your colleagues will be very helpful. People come from different disciplines, and to have them look at it and again put it in perspective will be very helpful in making people understand what we're trying to do and what company we're trying to do.
If this was part of a sales process, instead of wafting through a data room, I find this quite useful just to quickly go through the different elements of the mine, just to understand how each unit works.
In terms of getting the job done, I think this does a much better job, that's for sure.
It undoubtedly adds value.
It's very high quality data. It's a vetting tool that's unparalleled in the sense that you'll never get this on the basis of any presentation that's selected with this data or any data room, with however thick the technical report is.
Ultimately, the travel saved would allow me to reduce my risk.
I couldn't believe how well it was working. Being able to look up, round, behind me is extremely impressive.
It's entirely intuitive. I would love to go on one of these for every company I own.
I'm blown away by the execution so far.